Hello, welcome back to Monday Mindfulness. Today is comparatively a different layout, different format, as well as different time scheduling to what we're used to for Monday Mindfulness. And that is perfect for today because we're going to do a meditation focused on comparison and the mind's ability to compare things and make choices and take conscious action. So it can be really, really valuable to do mindful practices to make us more aware of how and why we're comparing, because it can be very easy to get into autopilot with these things. And I'm astounded by the ability to compare that we have. It's an amazing tool that we have in this mind. And it's very, very useful. It can help us to make great decisions and to live in our things that we're really excited and passionate about, because we can compare things. And at the same time, it can be used to the point where it becomes an automated response, and we start doing comparisons that don't really serve us or serve our suffering anyway. So if we get our sense of self and our self-worth tied up in our comparisons, then we can cause ourselves a lot of struggle. But at the same time, some of those struggles can be really beautiful shift moments and life changes as well. So comparison is at the heart of mindfulness. It's being aware of comparison is a fantastic practice of mindfulness that I adore to practice in my everyday life, and I love it because it is practical, but it's also allowing us to instill this in lots of areas in our lives. It's very easy to practice comparison awareness once you start to get a bit of an eye on it. And the practice that we're going to do today helps you to become aware of the ability to compare. So in a seated practice, we can start to bring awareness to that and start to look at the subtle details of comparison, so that then we can take it out into our lives and be more conscious with our comparisons and our actions moving forward. So saying that, let's get into the practice. So we're going to just find ourselves a comfortable position. It can be sitting upright like me, it can be sitting with a backrest. You could even do this one lying down. It's completely up to you. So we're going to find our comfortable space. We'll be at least 20 minutes here. It's a bit of a longer meditation compared to your usual Monday mindfulness. Comparing again. So we're having this body of normalness and then comparing that to other things. That's a very common way for comparison to come in. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves comfortable, close our eyes down, and bring our hands just to the top of the hips here. And just taking a few breaths here, noticing how those hips feel. And now we're just going to bring our focus, and we can even put a little bit of weight on the left hip, noticing how that feels. And then bringing our focus and a little bit of weight to the right hip, noticing what the right hip has to say. And then slowly shifting our focus back to the left hip, and then moving to the right hip, noticing what the right hip has to say, how it feels to have a right hip. And just in your own time, moving that focus from left to right. You can put weight on either hip as you go, just to help you really tune in and focus on what's happening in this hip. You might notice tension, you might notice looseness, you might notice discomfort, you might notice relaxation. You might notice warmth. You might notice cool. Just observing one hip at a time. Noticing if one hip stands out over the other. Noticing what's unique about each hip. How do they differ? Noticing what they have similar now. How are they the same? If you're moving hands from side to side, keep them moving while you open awareness to both hips, witnessing them in this moment as one entity, noticing all the details. Allowing both hips to speak at once. And now keeping that awareness open to both hips, just relaxing the hands down into your lap. Noticing how both hips are speaking. Noticing if the mind wants to interpret what's happening in this comparison. Noticing the hips and how the mind responds to them. Does it want to give more or less importance to one hip or the other? Just noticing the hips and the way the mind responds. And now bringing your awareness to the breath. Long, deep breaths, noticing each lung with each breath. So breathing, noticing the left lung, relaxing on the exhale. Breathing in, noticing the right lung, relaxing on the exhale. Noticing the qualities of each lung with each inhale. And now opening to both lungs at the same time. Noticing any differences. Is one lung slightly tighter or looser? Does one lung impact the body differently to the other? Does one lung feel bigger or smaller than the other? If your mind wants to get distracted, if it wants to compare this practice to some other point of focus, Just relaxing and opening back to the lungs. Slow, long, deep breaths, staying with each detail of the inhale in each moment of the breath. Relaxing on the exhale. Noticing if the mind wants to get involved. Noticing if we can just feel the experience of the lungs. Taking in all the details of both lungs at once. Just witnessing. And now taking a big deep breath in, opening to the whole body. Lungs, hips, all the body. And just noticing if the mind wants to place importance on something. Notice if it wants to add value to any comparisons. Noticing if there's something that would be benefited or defended by a particular comparison. What value would the mind get from a particular comparison? What value would the body get from a particular comparison? What value would the witness of both those things, of the mind and the body, get from any comparison? noticing who is doing the comparing. What is it that compares? And what is it trying to benefit? Is there an interest there or a bias in this comparer? Who is it that's doing the comparing and judging? Is it trying to get control? Is it trying to take an experience that becomes a comparison and make it an action, a change? Noticing who is it that controls or tries to control. Is it the body? Is it the mind? Is it the witness of these things? Just gently opening to awareness of the whole body. Completely relaxing the breath. Letting the body breathe naturally. And completely relax the focus. No need to think, do anything, just being you for a minute. Slowly bringing gentle awareness back to the skin, the bones, the body. As you breathe in deeply, rolling the shoulders back. Slowly starting to get movement through the body, giving yourself any stretches, any adjustments and movements that you need. Gently, slowly in your own time, coming back to the space. Opening up your eyes. So that was a simple comparison meditation. You can do that for longer periods, or even just bring it down into very short reminder periods where you could even do a minute of comparison awareness just as a time to focus and check in and notice what's happening with our comparisons, our decision making and our actions, so that we can take the sensitivity and the ability to dive into this clarity in a seated practice and actually take it out into our everyday lives. It can be very, very useful for all kinds of different decision making. Also, I found it very, very powerful to build a foundation to start questioning beliefs and to start really looking at what's underneath some of my drivers for compassion, for comparison, and also for the drivers of where am I slanted, where am I biased in some of my comparisons and why, and really getting some consciousness around them so that I'm actually going from a place of presence and a place of opening to my experience and able to choose and discern when I'm going to compare and how. So it's another very dynamic, very powerful aspect of mindfulness, and I'll likely do a further series diving into different parts of comparison and how they affect us. So thank you very, very much for your time, and please leave us any feedback if you'd like to leave a comment down below here. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining us. Ciao.